Chapter 6, Lesson 2, Nubia. Nubia's two regions. Nubia had a harsh desert climate where summer temperatures often were above 100 degrees Fahrenheit. In the winter, the temperature could drop below freezing. Despite Nubia's harsh climate, the Nile provided water and good soil for people in this area. Nubia had two regions, one close to sea level and the other at a higher elevation. As you can see on the map, Lower Nubia was in the north and Upper Nubia was in the south. Lower Nubia had a mix of fertile farmland and rocky areas along the Nile. Upper Nubia had rocky cliffs and hills. However, it also had large areas of fertile land along the Nile between the third and fourth cataracts. Both Lower and Upper Nubia were rich in minerals. A mineral is a substance that occurs naturally in the earth. Archaeologists have discovered ancient ironworks in Upper Nubia and jewelry made of gold and copper from mines in Lower Nubia. This picture of the rocks shown here would be shows copper ore, that greenish material within the rocks. This is a gold bracelet with gold mined there in Nubia. And this top picture shows Nubia, the land along the Nile River. Life in ancient Nubia. People in Nubia began to raise cattle and grow crops such as sorghum before 5000 BC. Between 4000 BC and 3000 BC, Nubians lived in many settled farming villages and towns. Even before 3000 BC, they were known for being talented warriors, skilled at using the bow and arrow. The earliest known Nubian kingdom was Ta Seti, between 3500 and 3100 BC. The most powerful Nubian kingdom from 2300 to 1525 BC was Kerma. Much of what we know about the early Nubians comes from burial sites. The Nubians buried their dead in pyramids similar to those built by the Egyptians. The things placed in Nubian graves give valuable clues about ancient life there. Farming, hunting, gathering. The people of Nubia learned to farm along the Nile. Because their land was not as fertile as that of ancient Egypt, Nubian farmers rarely produced any surplus or extras. As a result, they continued to hunt and fish for some of their food. Nubians also learned to raise animals. Carvings of cattle found in Nubian graves have led archaeologists to conclude that raising cattle was especially important to Nubian life. Nubia earns wealth. Burial remains such as jewelry made of shell, bone, stone, ostrich eggshell, or ivory, the white substance that forms elephants' tusks, show that Nubians had luxuries. Other burial objects, makeup kits, various tools, and pottery show that there was a great deal of trade between Nubia and Egypt, beginning around 3500 BC. Fine pottery also shows that Nubia had skilled craft workers. Nubians found that their lands had valuable resources, and they grew wealthy from their gold, iron, and copper mines. For centuries, Nubians traded both with the Egyptians to the north and with other civilizations in Africa to the south. People to the north valued southern African luxury goods, so Nubia became a link between Egypt and the savannas farther south in Africa. Nubians used land routes and the Nile to become thriving traders. Egypt invades Nubia. Around 2100 BC, during Egypt's Middle Kingdom, Egypt's pharaohs grew more ambitious. They began to expand Egypt's borders. About 2000 BC, Egyptian armies conquered Lower Nubia, the region of Nubia closer to Egypt, and made it part of the Egyptian Empire. Nubia increased the size of Egypt, and its riches would make Egypt more powerful. The powerful kings of Kerma, located in Upper Nubia, conquered Lower Nubia 200 years later. In 1525 BC, however, the Egyptians finally defeated and destroyed Kerma. They ruled Nubia for the next 500 years. During this time, the people of Nubia adopted many Egyptian ways. They began to worship Egyptian gods and goddesses along with their own. One such god is the god Ammon, who was worshipped by both Egypt and Nubia. As people and goods continued to pass between Nubia and Egypt, each culture adopted ideas from the other. Lesson review. Ancient Nubia is divided into two regions, Lower Nubia and Upper Nubia. The climate and geography of each region determined how people survived there. The people of Nubia were skilled farmers, craft workers, and traders. And finally, when Nubia was conquered by Egypt, their culture became similar to that of the Egyptians.